the slides, but let's just get started. I can wing it, because I'm not good. So my name is Femi Lewis. I'm the owner of Amplified Content and Digital Design, and I love working with entrepreneurs to help them understand their special sauce. What is it that makes you unique as a business? This is not cookie cutter content. So we all know that we have problems, right? We have a target audience, they have things that they want to know, and we have solutions. But even bigger than that, sometimes we have to be the people who tell them what they don't know, and they don't even know that they don't know it. So there's a few things that we have to do as experts in the room. Oh, you got it. So there's a few things we have to do, and I always say we're gonna start with our content strategy first. And so while he's pulling that up, I'll just work from there. So when we think about our content strategy, we have to think about our business goals. When we think about that target audience, of course there are pain points that they know. But also, what don't they know? That and this is key, I think, really for understanding. It's what don't they know that they don't know. And this is where your biggest thing, because they know that if they already know their pain point, then they already know that they need to be working with somebody or doing something. It's this group that we should be targeting with just as much zeal, right? And then we have to think about what do we need to do to reach, and how. So it's not just about, oh, create content, oh, get on social media, oh, send some emails. Okay, what specific platforms, right? And how are we doing this, and why? So what I've also found is that, yeah, we have this target audience, and as a content strategist, I work with a lot of businesses, and they understand these things about their businesses. But what they don't know is how to reach them, right? So I came up with this idea, and it's actually not my idea, but I started talking about 3 types of content that we absolutely need. So we have the first one, and I'll just draw it like this, because I feel like I have this in my PowerPoint. You have to think about it like this. You have your Cornerstone content. Then you have Evergreen. And then you have Timely. Okay? So what we'll do is we'll talk about all 3 of these and how. Can everybody see this from here? Mm-hmm. Okay. We'll talk about all 3 of these and how you need to show up with all of them. So your Cornerstone content, I call this like beginner 101, okay? These are the people that know the pain point but got questions, and it's also for those people that don't know what they don't know, and they might be know-it-alls, and they really need to come right here, okay? So beginner 101, 5 W's and an H, right? And how can it show up? My favorite, like the speaker before was talking about lead magnets. I think any kind of lead magnet that you put on your homepage should absolutely be your Cornerstone content, because this is the content that establishes your expertise, okay? So it could show up as a guide, it could be a resource, a case study, or a series of case studies, right? Those are just options. I will also say, don't give away too much information, because you need them to execute for you. The purpose in this is just so that they know that you know what you're talking about. And it's your opportunity to say to them, okay, not only do I know what I'm talking about, but this is like the entry point for them to understand your voice and your insight and know if you're potentially a good fit. So then the next one is Evergreen, deeper dive and insight. Let me erase some of this. And this could be your long form content. Can be social. And it can also be emails, because some people operate like they do email newsletter subscriptions, and this is where they share actual how-to content, right? That's like a big trend right now. So think about this. This Cornerstone content should lead people to come back to your blog, your social media for even more insight, but very general, right? So for instance, I'm working with a college admissions counselor. Her Cornerstone content right now is like a financial aid roadmap. Like all of the things you need to do for your child that's going to college before you even get to that FAFSA form. So like looking at your debt, looking at your assets, looking at how much free money you have. So she created an entire roadmap and she put it on her website, right? Then the evergreen content that she would create would be things like 3 mistakes parents make with money right before their kid goes to college. Really long headline, I could have done better. Right? Okay, so this would be a potential headline. I would judge it up. So we would share these 3 mistakes, and inside of this evergreen content, I can put a link to the lead magnet. Yeah, it's on your homepage. Maybe they missed it. Maybe they saw this on Substack. But the point is that you include this Cornerstone content into whatever evergreen content you have created. Then we get to timely content. So this is news. And I break this up into 2 ways. So like current events, and then also like studies released. Then you also have like promos, launches, events in your business. Okay, so if we're looking at news, current events, right now in the news is this whole thing about what's going to happen to people that have had student loans go into default, and since the pandemic they really weren't collecting on it the way they needed to. Well, this admissions counselor can talk about that, right? Can talk about how you can set your child up, even yourself up, to not go into default taking out Parent Plus loans, right? Because that's a real thing. So this gives you the opportunity to provide insight, timely insight. And I always say, yeah, you could put this on your website, on a blog or a vlog, but even bigger, this is the type of thing I would put on an Instagram Live or on LinkedIn, because those are the things that people there are gonna engage with. And if they feel like, oh, this person has all this insight, then they're gonna go back to your website and they're gonna look for this Cornerstone content, and they're gonna look for further Evergreen content. And even here, you can, at the end of it, you can say, check out my lead magnet, check out financial aid roadmap, right? So now we have them going back. The point is that all of these need to act in a synergy, okay, all the time. And if they're not, you're playing yourself, okay? So now, if there's a study released, further way to offer timely insight, like, it is always about providing advice to people to get them to move forward. Then this last one, promos, launches, events. This is not gonna be effective unless you've put in the work for Evergreen and Cornerstone content. If you don't have an email list like the last presenter shared, your email list like you're keeping people warm and keeping the stokes hot, nobody's gonna care about promos and launches unless you have people that have already been thinking about what you do and how you do it. Nobody's gonna care about that unless you've been posting on social media, sending your emails, and keeping your blog up to date. So that is how your promos and launches are gonna always work, okay? I'm gonna erase some.
You got that up.
He did, oh, look at
Good
that.
job.
Thank you. I think I did pretty well though.
Yes.
That's because I was like on the train from New York, like memorizing this. Because this has happened to me before. So look how I went through all of that stuff. Okay, so this is actually, oh, so this one I did not share with Timely. Seasons and holidays. And so let's just think about this. If it's National Finance Month, that was, financial literacy was last month, was April, right? Okay, so like take away my example right there. That same college admissions consultant could have been offering advice about finances and sharing how you can best save for your kid for college when they're in the 9th grade. Start thinking about how you're gonna pay for their expense, or setting them up to understand this is on you. I'm only packing your bags and taking you there, right? So that's what you can do with promos. Okay, so we know the pros of timely content, that you're gonna make the most of those trends and you're gonna connect with your audience and you're gonna potentially invite people in if you're on the right places, LinkedIn, IG, having those real conversations. On the flip side, if you put it on your website, you'll see a spike in your traffic, and then once it's gone, right? So that's why I'm saying, yeah, you can put it there, but it's better on social media. So how do we get to this place where we're producing our expert content?
Okay, can I ask a question first?
Sure you can.
Where would you put humor in?
You can put humor anywhere, and that's actually better. Because that's you showing your special sauce, right? That's you sharing your voice as a business owner who understands this and can kind of take the edge off of people and however they're feeling. So I remember you said, what did you do something?
Yeah, so we do automotive. So like I went around and asked all my guys, name 3 Disney princesses, because it was pretty funny to watch these manly guys. And it got a lot of reviews and stuff. And I'm just like, where do you put that in? Because that's just fun stuff. Because it's so hard for us to get people to want to watch our content because it's automotive repair. Like moms aren't gonna scroll down on their phone all the time, you know. So
baby, like what Disney princess are you?
Yeah, so
what
we didn't
you fix.
name your 3 Disney princesses that you like, or what your just silly things
Yeah, especially
that weren't
if there
related to
is.
the business.
But think about how it would be related to business. Somebody like Tiana is a hustler, right? What mechanic in your shop? It's a mechanic.
Yeah, we're mechanics,
Okay.
yeah.
So what mechanic in your shop is like the ultimate hustler in terms of getting work done? He's Tiana, right?
Make them wear green that day.
Yeah. Well, you know, you have the
With the
Cinderella. She's sad, but she's waiting for the magic, and when she has the right part, she'll make it happen. You know.
Or if Cinderella had real tires instead of pumpkins, she would have made it home by midnight.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
we try to mix that in. That's why I'm just asking, like, where do you put humor into it? Because
In your
you can't take
timely,
yourself too seriously
Right.
100% of the time.
that's perfect for timely content. That's perfect for timely content.
Put it in anytime. And they're
So, this is what I want people to remember. You're producing this content, and if humor is part of your value, right? Making things simple for your consumers, taking off the pressure in fun ways, then you make that part of the core of who you are. So there are core messages, and they're gonna communicate your value, and it is that ultimate intersection between your passion, your expertise, and your target audience's needs. Can I move? Okay, so I just gave you guys an example. So this would be like a prompt. You insert your action word, whatever it is you do, your target audience, your verb, your target audience's aspirations, and then say bye, right? So I support women subject matter experts who share great passion and solutions with their target audience by creating solid, customized content strategies. And then this is what I really want them to know. Your knowledge and expertise is too important not to be shared. Let's talk about how you must share on the right platforms at the right time. So that's the core, and I actually shifted my business. I don't just work with women anymore, but that's the core of who I am. Talking about shining a light on yourself and knowing where you need to be to let that light shine. So the next thing I want you to do is have content pillars. The cornerstone is one thing. You know at the beginning of your quarter what your business goals are, so you create the cornerstone content to meet those goals. But then you have your evergreen ideas and your timely ideas. So I say create content pillars, 3 to 4. Some people say 5. I say when I work with clients, I know who they are. This woman I love her. She's a bit all over the place. So I was like, sis, let's just do 3 and let it go, right? So we did mindset, decluttering and organizing, and cleaning. And then in each, I created evergreen ideas and timely ideas so that we could just plot out the ideas. And we brainstorm this, and then after that, we can plan. But I feel like this is really important and key into getting this done. So this would be an example of what we did together with this woman. We have her core message: you possess the power to have a clean and organized space. That's at the heart of everything she says to people. Her audience is apartment dwellers in New York, mid-30s, professionals, small children, small apartments, right? Cornerstone content idea: she could do a 5-part series showing people how to declutter, how to organize, and how to clean. And then her evergreen content could be how to declutter your kitchen counter in under 10 minutes, 7 ways to keep your home office organized. And she could use these not only on her blog, but then she can repurpose them on social media. And we were talking about it the other day, and I was like, I think you can even put these on LinkedIn, but talk about like how, from a professional perspective, like you're at work till 7 o'clock working, and you've got this open space, living room and kitchen, and you walk in and your house looks a mess because your kitchen counter is cluttered, right? What are 10 things you can do before you leave to work so that you don't enter a home that makes you feel more frazzled, right? Or for those of us who work from home, how do we keep this space clean? And how do we keep it organized? Like I had to tell my kids, stay off of my desk, stay out of my Canva, stay out of my desktop, okay? Because they flood my stuff and like this is work. And you need to understand that, yeah, we're home, but this is also my workspace. So then in terms of timely content, this is National Business Month, and next week is National Small Business Week. So we came up with these ideas, like she could look at a study on how organized businesses are productive, put that on LinkedIn, talking about the study along with some insights. Or she could go on Instagram and share 3 to 5 tips on organizing your business to increase productivity. And with a call to action that invites viewers to book the discovery call. I'm doing actually really well. So, how can we brainstorm those ideas in other ways? Of course, you can do keyword search. Reddit is always a good space. But I say limit your time on Reddit because you can just go down a deep rabbit hole and never get yourself out. The same with Google, like I time myself when I do these things. Trusty AI. I use AI more for brainstorming with clients and I teach them how to do this and be discerning versus like take whatever shoots out and use it. And then you can also still be in Facebook groups. But again, give yourself a 10-minute timer. Go in that search bar, look for what you're looking for, and get out of there because you can waste your time. So this is best practices for content development. I always say focus on intentionality versus consistency. Everybody always talks about, oh, be consistent. No, it's intentionality. What are your business goals and what does your audience need from you? And how can you be sharing who you are with them, okay? Create that quarterly content calendar. So we're already in May. This is the second month of the second quarter. By the end of this month, you should be looking to start creating your goals for Q3, which is the sleepy season, but it's the perfect season to get things done for Q4 when people are trying to spend money, right? And not just trying to spend money on Christmas, but that's also like a time where people are thinking about doing things for themselves. They're thinking about starting businesses, rebranding businesses, growing their business. And this is the opportunity for you to start setting the stage for that. For evergreen and timely content, 80% evergreen, 20% timely. And what I will also say about timely is if you subscribe to like Google News or Yahoo News, right? And you just put in what it is you do, they will send you updates. But I mean, we should be reading the newspaper every day, even if it's online, something, right? So think about how your industry is currently moving and how are you staying in touch so that you can provide that timely content. I want your Cornerstone content to be on your website and also link it in your long form and your evergreen, your evergreen and your timely content and on social media. So if you have a social media link in bio, put that Cornerstone content right there. Link your evergreen content within your timely content. So if you're on LinkedIn and you've written a couple paragraphs on this thing right here about student loan default, then what you should say is, please come to my site or come to my Substack or wherever it is you are. Check out these other articles on financial aid and financing your child's future. And don't provide links for timely content and evergreen content. It makes no sense. It's gonna expire. If somebody reads about Christmas in August, it's not gonna make a difference to them, okay? So, questions, comments? I covered everything. I'm that dope, right? Bronx to Buffalo. would appreciate very much if you provide me with feedback. Yes, go ahead. Oh, somebody had a question in the back.
Yeah, I was wondering, just like, I noticed there's like a trend in content to always like kind of quantify it, like in a listicle, like, you know, like 10 things to do when cleaning your kitchen for the spring or whatever. Is there like a psychology to that? Like, I know it's kind of almost like a carryover from print media where it'd be like, you know, 5 tips for a happy marriage or something, but like, we have to like say up front how many items are in a piece of content?
No, you don't have to. Some people, I think it's just it's a choice, right? You could do, why should you clean your counter? We know why you should clean the counter. But why should you put this energy into it? Or maybe just break it down to, I find that people are more likely to go with something low like 5 versus 10 because they get exhausted. So maybe it's, you split it up into 2, but you don't have to put a number on it. It's just that those numbers, 3, 5, 7, 10, or 11, 13, they kind of get people to say, ooh, that's a lot of information, let me look at it. But you could also pose it as a question. So like sometimes I use CoSchedule Headline Analyzer, and I'll put it in just to see like how it will rank on SEO, as well as like how is the system thinking about this, you know, have I used enough power words, have I made it emotional enough? And so you want to do a mix. Okay. Yes.
Do you think that there's a specific kind of content that you should use for each section? Like you mentioned in your example, one of the Cornerstone contents for your client was a 5-part video series. Do you think like a video is good to pull people in on a Cornerstone?
I think if you see, I was wondering, she really wanted to do a series of videos like beginner, and I said okay. I said, well, maybe make it like a lead magnet and they get that every single day, versus putting it on YouTube and it's just 5. But you could categorize it on YouTube, like get started with a clean house or a clean office right here. This is where you start. If you set them on that journey with your headlines, it'll be fine.
Do you remind people to have transcripts of videos and things like that for SEO and for accessibility?
Yeah, I think they should, definitely. Because the other thing is, people can always skim that transcript and find what it is that they really want and go right to it, and that's helpful.
Speaking of time, how often are you suggesting that people are posting or launching this stuff? And like Gary Vee, who I've read a couple of his books, much as humanly possible.
I mean, I say you need to be developing your business, and if you don't have the budget to hire someone, then find a way to make it simple for yourself, right? If you say, I can do 1 a week and I can repurpose that for social media, or I can promote it on my email myself, then do 1 a week. If you say, I can't do that, I could do 1 every other week, that too is fine. But just be intentional about the content that you create and how you share it. So if you say, I can do 1 piece of content, like a blog or vlog every other week, but I'm gonna repurpose it and be sharing nuggets of it over 2 weeks, that's fine too.
Okay.
The other option is have somebody do it for you. It's not necessarily a plug for me, but it is saying, you know what, if you can create a budget and say, you know what, this quarter, these are my business goals, I really want this content and this social media and these emails to be sent, so this is my budget, and you just go find somebody that meets my budget. Now, don't get somebody in the room and try to lowball them. Go to places where you can find that budget met. So that might mean if you know you can't afford somebody that's like, this will be $2,000, go to Fiverr, go to Upwork. You can find people there that do quality work, and just offload that so that you can work on your business.
One of the big discussion points now in content posting is release date, time, things like that. Do you believe like posting at consistent times and days has an impact, or would you say that's kind of dependent on the user?
I think, so I'll tell you this much. LinkedIn is more my jam than IG, and I find that if you post really good content on LinkedIn, people are gonna read it and people are gonna respond. You can create the best content, look on later and see they say 10 o'clock is a hot time for you to post, and then you post something and your two friends like it, right? So I think it's just, I don't have a strong answer for that to say yes, post it at this time, but I will say that I think it depends on the platform, because people that are on LinkedIn, they want to have professional conversations, and so they're willing to do that. People that are on Instagram, and you do need the visibility there, but people on Instagram are scrolling, and that's it, and they're moving on. Anything else? Any other questions, comments? Okay, if you don't mind, please, if you haven't done already, I would appreciate feedback. I appreciate staying in touch with people. So if you scan this QR code and share, then I'll be able to stay in touch with you through my email. So thank you so much for today. Sorry for the snafu, but I think we got the point across, right?